be here today. Home run derby tonight. Then we'll be here tomorrow. Game tomorrow. And then we're back in Los Angeles. So there are a lot of geniuses in the world. Actually, there's not. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs was, Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking. I think there's like business geniuses. Mark Cuban's very, very smart. But now it's time for another edition of The World's Dimmest Genius, starring Danny Ainge.
You couldn't leave this in LA.
So Danny Ainge, I've been told now for several years, is a basketball savant. He's got it all figured out. Isaiah Thomas, all 5'8½", said over the weekend, the Celtics better bring the Brinks truck, said the 5'8½" point guard who's a defensive liability.
You're knocking a guy for being short.
Not only will he be 29 next summer, old, but questions remain about his ability to lead a team to a title due to limitations on the defensive end. So, of course, what Boston could really use with his contract coming up, they could really, really use a young point guard. Oh, wait. This year, there were half a dozen in the draft, and Boston didn't get Lonzo or De'Aaron Fox or Fultz. They traded away their pick for a very good wing player, Jason Tatum.
You're making two arguments here.
The problem is, next year's draft, and they probably have the number 1 or 2 pick, has no point guards. And the best 7 players out of college or international next year are wings, which the Celtics have an abundance of. Now, it should be noted, genius Danny Ainge, his last 22 picks, he didn't have an all-star, but he did, to his credit, draft Avery Bradley. Oh, wait. He's now out of town because you got Gordon Hayward. So, generally this is the way it works with geniuses. Like, something has to land. Like Elon Musk does like Tesla and rockets, I'm like, check, genius. And then Steve Jobs did the iPad and the iPhone and the iPod, and I'm like, check, 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 he's a genius. Danny Ainge is down to, hey,
oh my
Al
God.
Horford on a good night can really play.
You do realize that on one hand you're saying that you want them to act now and win now.
Yes.
And then on the other hand you're saying you want them to draft a point guard. You really think, no matter how great this point guard is, that 1 year out of college is going to be the star and the difference to get things done now?
No, but in 1 year,
so.
Listen to the Isaiah Thomas contract. If he signed, now remember, Isaiah Thomas got drafted late. Okay, so Isaiah's a guy that really hasn't made what you call huge NBA money. There are some NBA guys, like Kevin Durant, who's made money. They'll take a little bit of a pay cut. Chris Bosh to Miami says, I want to win rings. Isaiah Thomas is now playing at an all-star level, but he is never, this is his big contract. He's not taking a pay cut. So if you sign him to the deal, you will be paying him in the last 4 years of the deal $34 million, $36, $38, and $41 million for a, and by the way, he'll be 35 and still 5'8½" by the end of that contract.
He could grow. So you're knocking Danny Ainge for something that hasn't even happened yet because one player tweets that he wants the brake trucks to come out. I just want to make sure I'm getting that straight.
All I'm saying is that he's been given this Messiah label, and there's a limitation on how long, hey, we're second best in the East. You got to recalibrate your genius level. That's not much of a bragging point anymore, like it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Like, one of these draft picks, I don't think Jaylen Brown's ever going to be a star. He can dunk, can't shoot. Jason Tatum looks good, but it's summer league. I'm going to slow down. At some point, getting basically swept by the Cavs does not equal genius. That's all I'm saying. I just like a little more from my geniuses.
Who's a genius then?
I'll take Daryl Morey. Have you seen the story today out of Houston? So he gets James Harden. People think he doesn't have cap room. He gets Chris Paul. According to a report today, I'm going to read you this. This is what a genius does.
Okay.
He did go to MIT.
That's where the geniuses are bred.
Mostly, yeah. Carmelo Anthony says he's confident he'll end up with the Rockets. Now, I don't love Carmelo, But in this team, at this point in the West, a 6'9" offensive wing, this would be Carmelo's last stand. I'd be okay with it. Nobody thought they had any wiggle room here. They're going to get Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony. What? That's pretty good. That's what a genius does. A genius doesn't say, hey, we're second best in the East.
You can't give that voice to Danny Ainge, but I never thought I would hear the day or see the day come when you would say a guy getting Carmelo Anthony makes him a genius. I don't know what the world's come to.